but you don't know me.
A house of horrors. That's how some people are describing conditions inside the Turpin residence.
I am angry, and I feel sorry for the kids. So much could have been prevented if I would have spoke out a long time ago. I just didn't understand the signs. You wouldn't believe that somebody could actually do something that evil. And it's just time for me to tell my side of the story. This is my dad, my mom, Louise, and me. I was the middle child of 2 sisters. They made sure that we were in church every Sunday and raised us up knowing the Lord and Christian beliefs. We looked picture perfect, but a lot of stuff happened in this house, so it brings back a lot of memories. My dad was always good to my mom. He never laid a hand on her, but there was a lot of arguing.
I'm trying to juggle too many things. Can't you see that?
How hard is it to keep a damn house clean? I'm working.
When my parents fought, I was scared.
What else do you want from me?
How about dinner on the damn table when I get home?
I would just start crying, and Louise would come and cover my ears and eyes to keep me from seeing and hearing it.
Who is the one taking care of the girls, making sure they get to school, making sure they're doing their homework? What else do you
Many
want
nights,
from
she
me?
would hold my hand all night for me to sleep. When she was holding my hand, I knew as a child that I was safe with her. She was my best friend, and she was the only one there for me. But something happened. Everything changed. By the time my sister got arrested, the look in her eyes and the expressions on her face were scary, evil looking. What went wrong? How did she become this person? So these pictures make me cringe. These are my grandparents, my mother's parents, Mama and Papa. That's what we called them. He's smiling here like he really adores us. But we knew the truth. When I was a kid, I begged for a big wheel. And so we had a birthday party at my home.
Happy birthday!
My grandmother and grandfather brought this big package in.
We've got one more special present for you.
What is it?
And it was my big wheel.
Grandpa, this is exactly what I wanted.
I was very excited, and I thought it was going to be one of the best days of my life. But it ended up turning into a nightmare. Papa never let me forget that was my big wheel, and it was from him. And later on that day, there was a price to pay. He took me in a back room.
Do you like your birthday present? Come, sit on my lap.
And then we would sit in the chair, the lights would go off. He would pull me on his lap.
Don't worry.
He would put his hands in my pants or up my shirt. And I would always feel him breathing on me. When I started to make noise, I remember him putting his hand over my mouth, and he would whisper in my ear, "This means I love you." And then he would tell me, "Don't tell nobody." I remember telling Louise, always told me that she had been molested all her life by him. She just became so protective.
Elizabeth, I'd like you to come with me for a bit.
And there would be times that Papa would walk towards me and she'd put me behind her. And she would tell Papa, I'll go with you. And I started realizing she's taking the molestation from me. She was sacrificing her own self for me. And I've thought about that and thought about that and thought about that. I never told anybody. He never was charged with child molestation, and he died last year at 95 years old. When it came to Louise, I often wonder if it drove her insane and made her do the things that she has done. This picture was about 4 months before her and David started dating. She still looks so young to me. She still looks like a baby. David was 6.5 years older than Louise. A lot of people in town thought that the Turpin family was just like God's gift to earth. Like, they were the most Christian as Christian gets. I think she adored him because Louise was looking for a way out.
Elizabeth, come here.
Louise one day had called me. She had hollered my name to come here. And she said, come in, I got a secret to tell you.
I have something I want to tell you, but you have to promise to keep it to yourself.
I was excited. I was always excited when she had a secret to tell me because it made me feel big, you know?
You like David, right?
And she was like, how would you like it if I got married? If I married David and we had a little baby and you could come over and spend the night sometimes and you could hold the baby.
A family? Wow, Louise.
And all this stuff. And she was packing her duffel bag. And then she went on to say, and don't tell anybody I asked you that. Don't say anything to anybody about me packing this duffel bag because this is our secret. Louise was only 16 years old when she told me all this.
Just remember, though, you promised not to tell anyone.
But I still didn't think of her packing because she was going to leave. I didn't put two and two together. The next day, Louise never showed up. She didn't ride the bus with us home. It clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, she's left with David. This picture was actually taken at the end of the wedding. The police found Louise and David in Texas. When Louise came home, she immediately demanded that they let her get married. Daddy always felt like they would just continue to try to run away and be together. So he felt like it was better just to give them their blessing. So Louise got married at 16, and I think David was 23. I felt so many different emotions that day. I felt like I was losing my best friend and my sister and my protector and everything. My parents got divorced about 6 months after Louise had left, and my dad left the home. That's when the abuse of my grandfather was more focused on me, and I didn't have her to shield me anymore. This is Louise pregnant with her first. Louise always talked about growing up. She was going to have 12 children, and before you knew it, they had 4 kids. At that point in my life, I was in college, and I was fixing to take summer break from college. And I didn't want to go home to all the chaos. It just seemed like she was living the dream life. I just plain out asked her, I said, could I stay the summer with you so I don't have to go home? And it was that simple. That was how it all started. I knew something has to be really wrong. The person that used to protect me is now helping bad things happen to me. This is the day that we were leaving for me to go stay with Louise and David for the summer. When I spent the summer with her, it changed everything for me. Within 24 hours from this picture is when I realized that Louise was not someone I wanted to be around.
What are we doing here?
David and I are just gonna go do a little gambling.
When I got in the car and we started heading back to Texas, they stopped at a casino and wanted me to babysit their kids in the car while they go in.
Seriously, you're going in there?
Oh, lighten up. It's just a little harmless fun.
That was very weird to me because growing up, David and Louise would have thought she was going to hell if you went to a casino. I even asked her a couple times, are you joking with me?
We'll be back in a bit.
She said that they didn't go to church anymore and that she had changed a lot. It just got darker and darker. I was scared to open the door. I started wondering, I thought, man, they're taking a long time, you know, and I just made sure the doors were locked. And I fall asleep.
Morning, sunshine.
When they finally came out, it was daylight.
Where have you guys been?
Playing slots.
I was like, you left us in the car all night with the kids. And she kind of laughed it off.
Oh, you're fine.
I was upset, but I didn't show it. Here I am almost to Texas. You know, I have nowhere else to go. I really didn't want to create an issue or an argument, but it was very confusing for me. She was a complete different person than what I thought she was. I thought, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? It was not just cluttered, it was just messy. Like papers all over the floors, dishes in the sink. I just remember thinking, wow, this is awful. I told her, I said, Louise, let's clean the house.
We should pick up a bit. Get this place under control? Yeah, sure. I guess it couldn't hurt.
And so that's what we did. We worked on the house for a few days. Then while she was doing that, I started seeing strange things happening. I didn't really get to know my nieces and nephews because she kept them so isolated. They were in their rooms most of the time.
And just leave her. She'll be fine.
The baby would sit in the playpen all day long. Nobody ever held it, hugged it, and played with it and loved on it. And when I would ask if I could, I was told no.
Don't you think she needs a little attention?
I'm her mom, Elizabeth. I'll take care of it, okay?
Of course, I just wanted to help.
She told me it was because she didn't want my beliefs being rubbed off on them, our childhood beliefs, like about God and stuff. I was like, I'm not gonna touch your children about God. So I knew from that point on, I just tended my own business. And the excuse I made for myself was, look, I'm not a mom, so I have no right to tell her how to be one. And that was what I told myself. And I just left things alone. Me and Louise and David would sit at a table and eat. And the kids were always in their rooms. I thought it was odd.
Where's everyone else?
I remember the first time that happened, I was like, aren't you gonna call the kids down and feed them?
Do you guys eat separately or something?
They'll get some. This is just how we do it.
And she was like, yeah, I'll calm down in a few minutes. Like it was no big deal. I feel bad. To me, the kids should be going first.
Okay, we're finished up. Come on down for some supper.
Then how it worked was that she would call them down one by one. She'd call the oldest one's name, and she would come down. That was very weird to me. I didn't really know how to react to that. And then she waited for permission without asking. She waited for Louise to tell her to take a bite. She could eat now.
Go ahead.
I never saw them do anything without permission. I never heard them talk, not even the oldest one. It was like they were forbidden to talk.
I love this stuff, don't you?
I remember asking Louise, do they ever talk? And she goes, yeah, if I tell them to talk to you, they will. It's like everything was controlled. And then when she got done, Louise never asked her, are you full? Do you want more? She would just say, okay, your plate's clean, go back up. And then she would call the next one down. In my heart, I knew something has to be really wrong. It was like they were programmed.
Louise, don't you think you guys are being a little tough on them?
I did ask why, but, you know, she was just like, don't ask about my parenting.
Go ahead.
I had never heard Louise laugh like that before. It was just different. More of an evil laugh. About a week into living with Louise and David, that's when the rules were explained to me.
So listen, if you're gonna start working this summer, there's a couple rules I need you to follow, okay?
She just told me, don't have any friends, don't tell anybody where you live, don't give nobody my address, don't give nobody my phone number. You're not allowed to have phone calls here, and I don't want you dating.
Okay. I don't even know who I would talk to.
You start meeting people, you start running your mouth, and I can't have that.
I don't know if she was afraid I was going to say something about the house or about things I saw. I remember asking her why, like, why can't I tell anybody where we're at or have anybody call me? And she says, we live a very private life, and that's how I want to keep it.
David and I keep to ourselves. We don't like other people in our business, so I'm gonna need you to do the same.
Okay.
But she also wanted me to get a job. So she took me to and from work, and she watched me real closely. And she told me basically that if I didn't obey her rules, there'd be consequences. You won't have a place to live.
Got it? Hey.
Got it.
So I had to respect her rules. I didn't have anywhere else to go. David began to watch me and say some really awful, nasty things, like, you know, he shouldn't be saying to his sister-in-law. I was getting into the shower to go to work, and I heard somebody coming in, and I hollered and told him I was in the shower.
Hey, I'm in here.
And the door opened.
Who is that?
And Louise and David walked in.
Are you insane?
I was in total shock. Like, I was like, what are you doing in here? Get out.
Let's get a good look at that body.
He would ask me personal questions about my body, and I wouldn't answer him.
Come on, we're just having a little fun.
Leave me alone!
And then he'd make comments about how good I'd be in bed. And you know what they say about redheads, they're wild.
Come on, I bet you're a demon in the sack, huh?
Stop it!
Come on.
And it would make me real uncomfortable. Louise supported him in the conversations. Louise would be like, yeah, I bet she is good in bed. And I would get upset and start crying.
Stop it! Stop it! I hear you in there. Give it! Stop it! Stop!
You just start laughing like an evil laugh, especially Louise. Like, I'll never forget it.
She's a bad girl.
I had never heard Louise laugh like that before. It was just different. More of an evil laugh.
Stop it! Please, make it stop!
It took me back to that childhood mode where with Papaw, it was making me feel like I was molested all over again, just in a different way.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I really felt betrayed. The person that used to protect me is now helping bad things happen to me. I knew there was no way for me to get out before the end of the summer, so I thought I would just have to wait. When I would talk to my parents or anyone on the phone, I was not allowed to talk in private. Louise was always sitting right next to me.
How's it going over there? You getting on okay?
My parents were expecting me to go back to school, and Louise was making it impossible for me to go.
Me? I'm good. I like it here.
She wouldn't give me a ride anywhere, and I was young, and I didn't have any way to buy my ticket. She said that, you know, I didn't need to go home, that was my home. And then she's kind of left it off like, I guess you're stuck with me.
She's got the kids and could use some extra help. This is just what I want to do.
I just told my parents that I couldn't come right now, that I'd have to take another semester off.
I'll talk to you soon.
I felt like I was imprisoned almost. I had no way out. I was trapped.
What happened?
It was scary because you're really playing with the devil. My life just went from normal to hell, like within a second. When it was time for me to go back to school, they didn't allow me to leave. It was like I was being held prisoner. But at work, I had met a guy named Jonathan, and we started dating.
Well, I'm really excited to see this movie with you.
I'm excited to go, even though I don't like scary movies.
You'll like this one. Anyway, I'll call you later.
Louise, what are you doing here?
Louise caught me with him because she apparently had stayed in the parking lot to snoop on me, and I don't know how many times she'd done that.
Didn't I tell you the rules? No phone calls, no boyfriends.
I am sorry. I just
No, I told you there'd be consequences.
She was really furious. She was yelling at me.
I'm sorry.
I told you my rules. You disobeyed me.
Why are you yelling at me?
You don't respect me? Give me your keys.
What? Where am I supposed to go?
I don't care, but not home with me. Give me your keys.
She locked me out. She told me I wasn't getting my stuff back. I was left by myself. That really hurt me. I was very shocked that it had come to that. All because I had a boyfriend at 19 years old.
Are you okay? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with her. She just kicked me out.
Hey, we'll figure this out. You can stay with me.
Jonathan went and told his parents, and I went to his house. About 9 months later, I married Jonathan, and we moved about 14 hours away for me to go back to college. I was just so relieved about getting out. I really didn't think about the children at all, like leaving them in that environment or anything. She had 4 when I moved out of her house. I was young and I just wasn't thinking about anything. Later on, I missed them and I thought about them and prayed for them and I worried about them. But at that time, I never thought Louise was capable of doing to her children what she's done. It was just like, I've got to get out of here. At this time is when they started cutting everybody off. I didn't talk to Louise for a long time. Several years went by. And then by the time I had children, she contacted me. We still had our problems, but we did speak every once in a while, and I did see Louise from time to time. It wasn't the same relationship as it used to be.
It's good to see you, Louise. I can't believe how long it's been.
And one day, it had been about 14 years. She came over, we were talking, and at this time she had 12 children. The kids were very quiet, waited for her to have permission to talk to me. It was a lot like it was in their home.
Hey, how are the kids? Are they doing okay?
Yeah, why?
And I remember thinking that they were skinny, especially the oldest child.
Have they been eating much? They get plenty of food.
When I confronted Louise about the kids being skinny, she tried to play it like it was all hereditary. She said, oh, it's in our genes. Me and you were real skinny.
They just have good genes. What do you want me to say?
I just left it at that.
By the way, I pulled the kids out of school. I'm going to do it myself. You mean you're going to homeschool them?
But when she told me she was going to homeschool, an argument broke out.
Louise, they're not going to get a proper education. That's a terrible idea.
You have to be disciplined. You have to be responsible. You have to put your kids' needs before your own.
Listen, we've already made up our minds. We're actually moving to California. What? California? Why?
Louise had researched out what states they come and check on you, what states you have to turn in work. Because some states, you can homeschool your kid. They never ask to see any of the work. They don't come out and check on the children.
Look, do what you want with your kids. This is what I'm doing with mine.
Now that I'm older and I'm looking back, I realized she didn't want anybody calling CPS. She was going to make sure she was in a place where they did not check up on them.
Come on, kids, we're leaving. Louise.
And it haunts me now. For a long time, I felt like guilty because I didn't say anything, but I really didn't know better at the time. Like, I didn't feel like it was that severe that I needed to get authorities involved. This is them with 12 of the children, the 12 oldest children. I got pictures like this all the time. She would send pictures and videos of them at Disneyland. She would put all this stuff on Facebook, make it look like they were having a great time. I thought that they were happy and well-fed. I thought over the years that things had gotten better. But my oldest niece Skyped with me one day.
How you doing, honey?
I'm okay.
By this time, she's like in her upper 20s, but she looks like a 14-year-old kid. But I didn't think of it as being like malnutrition or anything. I just thought that she was just small framed is what I thought.
So what's going on? Anything new?
Nothing new, just the same old stuff.
And she had her hands behind her back and she was just rocking back and forth. And I noticed that Louise was sitting real close to her.
Sorry, Aunt Elizabeth, I've got to go.
Hello?
You could tell that she was scared to answer a lot of the questions. It was just really weird. I remember laying down on the bed beside my husband just to watch some TV. It wasn't even late. And somebody on Facebook, one of my friends said, is Louise Turpin your sister? And before I could even ask why or whatever, I go through my news feed and somebody I didn't even know that I wasn't even friends with sent an article where 13 kids have been starved and beaten and chained. And I thought, that's a sick joke. That's when it all started. I started getting all kinds of Facebook messages asking me if this was my sister. Earlier that day, I got a phone call from a California number that I did not recognize. And they left a voicemail, but I didn't listen to the voicemail right away. I thought it might have been a telemarketer or something. Then I got to thinking, I really should listen to that voicemail. And it was a woman saying, you know, this is Riverside County Jail. It's about your sister. I called the number to the jail. And when they first told me what happened, she said, can you let all the family know because it's hitting national news?
On Sunday, January 14, 2018, just before 6 o'clock in the morning, a 17-year-old girl called 911 from a deactivated cell phone and reported that her siblings were being held against their will.
The story was that they chained and beat and starved their children. One of my nieces got out, climbed out the window, the bedroom window, after Louise and David went to sleep, and ran down the road with an unactivated cell phone that was in the home and called 911 on it.
They say the escape plan had been in the works for 2 years. The teen took one of her siblings with her, but that child got scared and turned back.
She didn't even know how to explain where she was. She didn't even know her own address. The police was able to track her and find her, and then she rode back with the police to the house in the car.
Investigators arrived, finding the rest of them, 13 in total, starving, emaciated, some chained or padlocked to beds.
The deputy that went to the house spoke with me, and he said that Louise and David were in shock because they were asleep when they got there. They had no idea that this 911 call even took place. They were trying to hurry up and get them unchained, but they didn't succeed before the officers got into the home.
One of the children at age 12 is the weight of an average 7-year-old. The 29-year-old female victim weighs 82 pounds. None of the victims were allowed to shower more than once a year. None of the victims have seen a doctor in more than 4 years. None of the victims have ever seen a dentist.
The couple is charged with 12 counts of torture, 7 counts of abuse of a dependent adult, 6 counts of child abuse, and another 12 of false imprisonment.
It's really hard to think that those babies that I held and rocked so many times to sleep and fed bottles were treated like animals. This is David's mugshot. I remember thinking he looks like a serial killer or something. My mom used to say, oh, he's a turban boy. She couldn't get a better guy than a turban boy. That does not look like my sister at all. That's what it looked like when I saw her on TV, and it made me sick, and I busted in tears. To me, she looks evil here. I remember asking my husband, how is she smiling? She looks crazy. I thought, is this really possible? There's no way that Louise could have done that. There's no way. They've blown this way out of proportion. I remember wanting to go to the house to try to convince myself that this is real. And I walked around the house and looked in the windows. And when I looked in the windows, my breath was taken because I saw things. I thought, oh my gosh, Louise is pure evil. It was very, very nasty. And I knew immediately that my sister did a horrendous crime. I needed to see her for myself. I needed to look her in the eyes. And I needed to ask her, what were you thinking? What happened? What went wrong? I remember being a nervous wreck because we hadn't talked in 2 years.
Thanks for coming. It's really great to see you.
And she said that she was sorry.
I didn't mean to be so awful to you.
She said, something went wrong and I wish I could explain it to you, but I've been told to not talk about it. She told me that she loved me and has always loved me, and she knows that's probably hard for me to understand, which it was.
I hope you don't believe everything you read in the news.
I know the truth. I was there.
She never came out and said she didn't do it. She never came out and said she did it either. And she says, I'm not who you think I am.
You'll never know who I am unless you give me a chance.
What about your kids? Did they have a chance?
How I took that is she done it, but there was more to the story than what I knew. I think they deserve life. And that's really harsh for me to be a sister and say that. But I think that's appropriate. She deserves everything that she's got coming to her. My hopes for my nieces and nephews is that they will be able to live a normal life eventually and be able to put all this behind them. And I want them to know that I'll always be there. I want them to know that there is family out there that cares and that they are loved and that not all of us are like their parents. This picture is actually Louise holding me when I was about 1.5 years old. You could see her arms around me like I was her baby and kissing my cheek. It was the greatest moment in the world to me. Why did she protect me so much, but she didn't protect her own children? I just don't understand. But I still love Louise. I mean, nothing ever changes the fact that she's my sister, no matter what she's done. People don't understand, how can you get on camera and say that you still love your sister? They see who Louise is today and what she's done, that's all they know. But I've known Louise all my life, and I know who she was before. We really don't know why she's changed so much. I guess my biggest regret is not reporting what I saw when I lived there. You never think that somebody close to you could do something like that, but anybody's capable of being evil. You know, so much could have been prevented if I would have spoke out a long time ago.
I really wanted to make myself separate from my dad in a lot of ways, so I don't talk about it a lot.
Here's the man detectives from Jefferson and Snohomish counties desperately want to catch.
Even though we lived under an assumed name, we had a very normal life, and it was just so unreal.
He's large, 6'3" to 6'4" inches tall, 240 to 260 pounds, a bulging stomach, in his early 40s with brown hair and dark graying beard. He was last seen wearing cowboy clothes and a baseball cap.
It makes me wonder, did we ever know who he was? I don't know if any part of his life was real. And I've lost sleep over it. I've had nightmares for years over it. Maybe I was the product of someone who was just a really bad person. That's very hard to live with. This was a picture of my dad that, gosh, it's probably taken when I was like 7 or 8. While I have a lot of good memories of my dad, I have very few snapshots of my dad. He had a very big personality and a very demanding presence, and he wasn't really warm and fuzzy. He loved hunting and fishing and camping. It's hard to believe that that wasn't an authentic life. Some of the best times of my life were those years, and it's hard that those are all marred by his deceit. I'm glad that I have one good picture. It just reminds me of a time that it seemed like life was easier. That seemed like he was who he said he was, I guess. You know, like a time before we were on the run. The first 11 years of my life were extremely normal. It was my mom and dad and my brother and I. We were living in Hobbs, New Mexico, and my dad owned a sporting goods store called Shooter Supply. And one day, when I was 11, Dad's store burned down. I remember the shock of the fire, and I remember worrying about my dad. He was sent to the hospital, but he just had smoke inhalation because of being in the store when it burned.
All right, let's start with checking your lungs.
And I remember my dad just coughing a lot.
Breathe in for me.
He says the day before something had spilt, some sort of a solvent or a cleaner on the carpet. And he went up that morning, he says, to clean it up. When he plugged in the carpet cleaner, he says it sparked, and that spark is what caused the fire. He says he stayed within the store for a while to try to put it out, but wasn't able to. And so he ended up running out, I think, the back door.
What are we gonna do now?
Don't worry. We have insurance on the store.
Everyone seemed to believe it was just a bad situation, like it was just a bad stroke of luck. I didn't know anything or have any suspicion about the fire being set intentionally until several months later. I believe that there was a lot of debt with the store. My dad always seemed like he wanted to live beyond his means. I believe that he owed a lot of money to a lot of different people. So let me burn it down and take the insurance money. In my mind, the fire represents what I know to be the beginning of his criminal activity. About a month after the fire, we moved to Montana. We lived in Montana from April for just a couple of months. My dad said that we just decided that we didn't think Montana was where we wanted to be, and so we've decided to find a new home.
Where are we going to go next?
I don't know.
We were going to drive around the state of Washington, and wherever we as a family decided was our kind of favorite location is where we would live.
Why don't you choose, Pam?
Really?
It just seemed like an adventure.
Nice pick. All right, guys, let's go.
There was a sense of being on the move, but I didn't know that as a kid. We were on the run for about 4.5 years. My brother and I had to change schools again. I remember it was very hard to make friends. It just became more and more clear that we were alone and that we didn't have contact with any family whatsoever.
Hey, kiddo.
Hi, Dad.
During the time we were gone, I wrote frequently to my grandparents. I remember numerous times saying, I wrote Grandma and Grandpa a letter, can I get stamps, and I'll go mail it.
Dad, do you have any stamps? I'm gonna send this to Grandma and Grandpa.
You know what I don't right now, honey?
Dad would never let me mail them myself, just kind of said, well, we don't have stamps right now. Why don't you give me your letter and I'll go buy some stamps.
Why don't you go run along and play with your brother?
It wasn't until years later I realized they had never been mailed. It took quite a while for me to realize that there were no letters coming back. I would love to know where those letters are, or if they're even anywhere. I don't know if they were thrown away. I don't know if they were, I don't know. I don't know what happened to them. My grandparents loved us just so much. In a way, it makes you feel stupid because you're writing your heart out to people who aren't answering. But I didn't realize that they were looking for us for 5 years. And my grandmother died during that time. She died about a year after the last time I saw her. My grandpa said that every single day she asked about us. That just breaks my heart. It just really breaks my heart. We were staying in a hotel. One morning, my parents had left the hotel room, and I believe they were going to meet with a realtor or something, and the phone rang.
Hello.
And it said, is Mr. Weir there? And we said, no, you have the wrong room. And so we hung up. So a few minutes later, the phone rang again.
I'm not getting it.
And it said, is Mr. or Mrs. Weir there? And we said, no. We told them our names, Sinclair. So then a third time it called and they said, is Charles Weir in the room? And we said, no. My brother and I are a little confused. Why do they keep calling us?
They kept on asking for someone named Weir. Crazy.
And somebody knocked on the door. So my brother and I were just totally freaked out, and we were just really nervous. When we opened it, there was the hotel manager and a policeman standing at the door. There was the hotel manager and a policeman standing at the door.
You alone? Parents here?
No.
And they said, we need to see evidence that there's an adult in this room because it looks like you're runaways or you're hiding.
You kids better prove to me you belong here.
And so my brother and I were just totally freaked out, and we were going around the hotel room digging out like suitcases and trying to show evidence that someone other than my brother and I were in this room. And I remember also having this fear that like my parents were going to be mad at us because we'd broken some rule that a policeman's in our room.
Excuse us. Can we help you?
About that time, my mom and dad walked up into the room.
This is our room.
It is.
Yes, sir.
These are your children?
Yes, sir.
Can I see some ID?
They said, oh, it was just a big misunderstanding, that they had registered under a different name just for privacy purposes. I remember my dad showing his ID and my mom showing ID.
No problem. Have a nice day.
And the police left. My brother and I were both very rattled, very confused. And my dad at that point said, in order for us to stay together as a family, I've decided we need to change our name. And so your new last name is Weir.
That's our new last name. Forget about the old one.
You're not going to talk about the old name. You're not going to use your old name.
I don't understand.
And when I asked why, he said the cops down in New Mexico was trying to get him to come back for the store situation. And I just don't feel like they're ever going to leave us alone. So the only way I feel safe that we can live together as a family is if we change our name so that they can't find us. He made the police seem bad, like they were trying to frame him for something. I believed he didn't do it, and so I thought, well, why would you run from the police? Aren't they supposed to help you? Even as an 11-year-old, it didn't make sense to me that why wouldn't you be honest? We had a really pretty property in Washington State, and to this day, it's probably one of my favorite places I've ever lived, and some of my best friends still live there. As time went on, there was less and less reference to things of our past, and anything that had a last name on it was, kind of disappeared. But one afternoon, I was sitting on the front porch talking with my friends, and it was a summer day. I had on shorts and a t-shirt, and on the back of it, it said Sinclair, because it was a shirt that I had had from when I was in New Mexico. A shirt I'd worn on some little soccer team or basketball team. My dad opens up the door and says, you need to get inside.
Pam, come inside now.
I'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing?
We're just talking.
And when I got inside, my dad was just livid that I was wearing the shirt because it had Sinclair on it.
I talked to you about this already.
Sorry.
Sorry's not good enough.
He made me take it off, and he said, you need to be sure that you never say our old last name or talk about where we're from.
Nobody can find out about us. You gotta be more careful.
Okay.
And he just reiterated that if anybody found out our real name, then they could make him go back to New Mexico. Whenever he talked about going back to New Mexico, he talked about being in jail. Like I felt guilty, or, you almost felt like it was your fault if something were to happen, that you would be the one to blame. He said, make sure they know that I just told you to take it off because it had to be washed.
Just tell them your mom's doing laundry.
So then we went back out, and I hung out with my friends a little bit longer. And I never saw the shirt again. When we were living in Washington, my parents were always home. I knew enough from being around my friends to know that my friends' parents had bills and worries and stress about money, and my parents never seemed to have that.
Hand that to your mother.
Here you go.
I remember one time asking, how do we have money? How come you guys don't work and there always seems to be money?
Dad,
Yeah, Pammy?
how come you and Mom don't have to work? all my friends' parents do.
I'm just really good with money.
If anybody asked what my parents did, we were told to say my dad worked in the oil field and retired early. That's why he didn't work.
But my friends ask what you do.
If anyone asks, I'm retired.
Okay.
It was a lie, obviously. I knew they didn't retire from the oil field. It really made me have more questions. How come there's always money? Or where is our money? Or do you have a bank account? Or, where do you keep the money? My dad would always say, well, don't worry about it. We have plenty. Always just had kind of vague answers. It just did not make sense to me. Like in my mind, as an 11-year-old, it just seemed like, can't you just talk about it? I really thought during those years that we had a good life.
Who's that?
It makes me hate him. And it makes me wonder why he thought we were more important than other people's lives. When I think of my dad, I think of him with a beard. We weren't a fancy family. He pretty much wore jeans or sweats or, comfortable type clothes. It wasn't like he ever dressed up for anything. And so he didn't often change his appearance. The times that I would notice a difference was when he would come back from a trip. He would talk about needing to make some money, and once or twice a year, he would be gone for sometimes a week, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And I don't remember ever really knowing where he went. I remember him telling stories of his travel, like funny things he saw. He would almost have always bought us a gift or something, but I don't remember anything business related. He never really talked about that.
Dad!
But I remember several trips, him coming home and he would be clean shaven. I hadn't seen him in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and so it was very obvious when he came back if he was clean shaven. So it was a big difference. And I remember asking him, like, what happened? Where's your beard?
What happened to your face?
You don't like it? I think it looks better.
He'd say something funny like, well, wouldn't you rather kiss my cheek when it's smooth? He'd kind of joke about it like that.
Come give me a kiss. Kiddo.
I always felt a sense of relief when he came home because I felt like our family was back together.
Are you hungry?
But it was just part of our routine for him to leave for 2 weeks, 10 days, 3 weeks, a couple times a year. And I noticed different changes in his appearance. One time he came home and his beard was gone, but he had a mustache. One time his hair was noticeably darker. Looking back, I definitely think he was changing his appearance on purpose. I remember seeing my dad cleaning some coins. Typically what that looks like is they're spread out on a table with different little bowls of like a cleaner. And you might soak it for a few minutes and then you kind of polish it with a certain type of rag.
Hey, Pam. Couldn't sleep?
In my mind, I believed he was going from place to place to buy and sell gold and silver to make some money. I grew up with my granddad being a gold and silver trader and selling coins, and so seeing it did not seem out of the norm for me.
Why don't you go back up to bed?
And maybe that's why my dad always had money, but it was strange because it wasn't normal for us to have gold and silver laying around our house. I honestly believed all those years that he was going around and buying and selling gold and silver. When I think about my dad, deliberate's a very good word for him. Everything he did, I feel like was very thought out, and planned.
Did you guys like your fishing trip? You caught a big one.
Yeah.
I just remember sitting in the living room and there was no TV or anything on. And it was just a very relaxed moment. And we were just talking. And my dad loved hypothetical questions.
I have a good question.
And then my dad said, do you think that there's any such thing as a perfect crime? And this was just out of the blue, just a complete, do you think anyone's ever committed the perfect crime? And I remember thinking, this was a really odd question. But it was kind of in line with stuff my dad would ask, kind of these hypothetical, make you think questions.
I don't understand.
You do it so well that you don't get caught.
And my brother said, yeah, there probably is the perfect crime. And I remember very clearly saying, well, how would you know? Because if you committed the perfect crime, no one would find out.
Right? If it's happened, no one knows about it.
And he just sat there. He didn't really say much. He said, well, I guess you might be right. And that was the end of it. And then he was staring straight ahead, and he didn't engage with me or anything.
Dad? Dad?
After the fact, it was a question that I've gone back to many, many times, and I wish I could remember more of the conversation or more of his body language. I just remember glancing at him and him being very still and just staring. He had a very cold stare. It was like he was lost 100 miles away. It's like he was not even in our world. I think it was a very deliberate question. I think he was probably fishing to see if my brother and I knew anything, or if we would say it if we did. I honestly don't know why. I know what we were told. Anyone that knew my dad knew he loved mountains and he loved the outdoors and hunting and stuff like that. So that was kind of the play that he put on it. Alaska's like the last frontier. We've seen Wyoming and Montana and Washington and Idaho, and it's beautiful up there. Let's go see it. When they first told me, I said no, I wasn't going to go because I really loved where we lived and I loved my friends. Did not want to go to Alaska. There was just nothing about it I wanted to go to, and it just felt like the end of the earth to me. But I think I kind of realized I didn't really have a choice. He just wanted to move. So after my freshman year of high school, we moved that summer to Alaska.
Here's the box for the front closet.
What's the point? It's not like we're staying here.
Not this time. We're gonna be here a while.
I think things weren't right and that there was a lot more to this story. I feel like something was kind of forcing him to do that, or maybe he felt unsafe for some reason. I feel like he was looking for a place to hide, like there's probably something that he was running from.
Let's go get the table outside.
Nobody move!
And I just remember putting my hands up, and I remember being very upset because he kept the gun on me. And I just remember thinking, why are you pointing a gun at me? I haven't done anything wrong. This was a place not far from our house in Alaska. When I think about my memories of Alaska, that's what it looked like, just water and mountains and trees, untouched, natural Alaskan wilderness. I know my dad loved it for its remoteness. It's easier to hide and no one could see him. So there's definitely something to be said for people that move to remote locations. It's hard to find them if they don't want to be found. We had moved to Alaska in the summer of 1989. When we lived in Alaska, money was very tight. And I don't know why. My mom was very stressed, and she told me later that we had like virtually no money. She was worried we were gonna starve. And so about 9 months later in May, he went on probably his longest trip that I remember.
Hey, honey. It's good to see you.
And it was probably close to 3 months. That was a very long time because typically before they had been a week or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the most. And when he came back, I was kind of apprehensive in a weird way to see him because he'd been gone so long, but he was very happy to be home.
Dad. Hey, kiddo. It's good to see you.
He just seemed more patient and more loving and more attentive. It was really 2 or 3 days of just really enjoyed being together as a family. One night, we were outside, and it's just the four of us, my mom, my dad, my brother, and I, and our dogs were out with us. And the dogs just repeatedly kept running towards the trees, and they would bark, like something in the trees.
Stop that barking.
I mean, it wasn't just I'm barking to hear the sound of my bark. I mean, it was a very intentional something is in the trees. And there was always, I mean, you live in Alaska, there's wild animals all over the place. But it's pretty rare for them to come to your house.
Should we go see what's bothering them?
No, it's probably just mess with another animal.
And I even remember at the time thinking how strange that was because my dad's typical personality would be one to say, oh, let's all get in the truck and see what they're barking at. He was kind of adventurous that way. And it was very different. Like, it was just, I remember thinking, like it was bothering him a lot that those dogs were barking. And I even remember at the time thinking how strange that was because we lived on 160 acres. Your dogs aren't bothering anybody by barking. We're standing there, and up the driveway walks a man. I remember thinking at the time it was out of character. Even as a 16-year-old kid thinking, who randomly comes up to someone's house?
Who's that?
And the guy was like, oh, hi, sorry to bother you guys. Is there any land for sale around here?
My wife and I are looking for some homes in the area. Are you familiar with any that are for sale?
And my dad mentioned a place, and he said, well, I can't seem to find, the drive for that location. Which way do I need to go? And he kind of asked almost for directions. And my dad, one gift that he had was he was very charming. He could talk to anybody, and that was not how that interaction was. It seemed like he was kind of weary, like he wasn't trying to engage this man in conversation.
It's getting late.
Right. Well, thanks for your time.
He answered the question, then that was it. And so right after the man left, we went into the house, and I just remember it being a normal night and going to bed. I wish I could go back to that time to really ask my dad what he thought was happening, because looking back on it, it was obvious something was going on. But, we didn't know that. I remember him trying to wake me up, kind of shaking me, and when I looked up, he was sitting there and he pulled me up.
Hey, kiddo. It's time to get up.
He said, I love you, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, always remember that I love you.
I love you, babe.
I love you too, Dad.
I remember thinking it was odd. I knew he loved me, but it wasn't words that he spoke freely. He didn't say he loved me often. It wasn't a normal part of our routine. But I don't think you know that your life's about to change. Like, you don't realize that those moments, it's a moment that means something, but you don't understand the meaning of it. I believe that the dogs barking and the person walking up our driveway and the way he woke me up that morning, I think he suspected something the night before. I wish that I could go back to that time and maybe stay up all night with him and talk to him.
Morning, Mom.
Oh, hey. Oatmeal's almost ready.
My mom had just said breakfast was ready, and our phone rang. My dad went to get the phone.
Hello?
And he spoke for just a few seconds. There was quite a bit of nervousness, I guess. And then he put the phone down and he said, "I'll be right back."
I have to head out.
Where are you going?
And he took off.
I'll be back.
It was just odd. He didn't really say goodbye. He bolted. A few minutes later, we were eating in the living room. I got up to get something out of the kitchen and the door flew open. And a man with a machine gun was standing there pointing it at me.
FBI, nobody move!
Nothing stops you in the tracks like a person with a machine gun pointed at you. The door flew open and a man with a machine gun was standing there pointing it at me.
FBI, nobody move!
And he said, "Stop, SWAT team, FBI." And they just stormed the house.
Get your hands up. All right, let's go. Move, move!
And I just remember putting my hands up, and I remember being very upset because he kept the gun on me. And I just remember thinking, why are you pointing a gun at me? I haven't done anything wrong. They asked us what our names were, and we kept saying Weir, and he's like, "Well, what's your dad's name?" And I would say J.C. Weir.
It's Weir.
And then finally he said, "Is your last name Sinclair?" And when he said that, I knew that they knew who we were. I thought maybe it had to do with the fire in New Mexico. They grabbed me and they had my mom and my brother come down with their hands up and they put us all in separate places to isolate us from each other.
I need to ask you a few questions.
They were asking us questions like, did you know your dad had been in Montana? What was he doing in Montana? Why was he there? I had no idea he was there. Like, I had absolutely no clue.
Where's my dad?
We have your dad in custody.
But why?
They said that my dad had been arrested for the murders of 2 people in Montana at a coin shop. One owned the coin shop and one was an employee.
No, my dad would never do anything like that.
I felt for sure they had the wrong person. Like, I know there's all these red flags about us moving and stuff, but I just could not conceive in that moment of time that he was being arrested for murder. I thought for sure it was a case of mixed identity or something. It takes a lot to make the jump to the fact that your dad could have killed somebody. It's not an easy thing to adjust to. But I mean, looking back at it, I think they did us all a favor by not arresting him in front of us. I would love to know what that phone call said. I felt like he was tricked to get out of the house. And I'm sure that they had guns surrounding him and he was arrested. I kept thinking if I could just talk to my dad and he could explain this or he could answer questions. But he was gone. It hit kind of the newspaper and the media and the police hotlines, and people started matching other robberies and murders to him. It was probably over the next few weeks that we learned it was actually a pattern of coin shops. His standard MO was he would go into a coin shop, ask if they had a certain piece. He would oftentimes make a plan, either saying he wanted to buy a large collection or he wanted to sell a collection that he had. They would be prepared to make a deal. And he would murder them and then rob and steal coins and cash.
I heard him mumble something, and it sounded like what he said was, "dumb bastard." And I turned around quickly to see what he said, and then for a split second I saw the gun and felt something hit me in the head, and I realized I had been shot.
I'm so glad that he survived because I think he was able to give a good description.
Here's the man detectives from Jefferson and Snohomish counties desperately want to catch. He's large, 6'3" to 6'4" inches tall, 240 to 260 pounds, a bulging stomach, in his early 40s with brown hair and dark graying beard. He was last seen wearing cowboy clothes and a baseball cap.
And once that kind of hit the news, I think more and more people started connecting the dots. I believe that this was kind of the first time that they realized that these different robberies and murders were connected. And then just a couple months later was the two people that were killed in Billings that ended it. A witness reported they saw a man leaving the coin shop with 2 duffel bags and got in a silver car. And then a few days later, that same car was found at an airport, and they found receipts and items that clued them into my dad. He died in prison on October 30th. So he was in jail 77 days. There were several theories that ran around. There was the talk that he died of a heart attack. Somebody said he died of an accidental overdose. Somebody said he committed suicide. I've come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. He's gone. And I can't change it. I think I honestly thought up until that moment that maybe the charges would be dropped or something. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but I think in my mind, I thought it would all go away. His death was very hard to accept. When he left that morning of August 13th, I never saw him. I would have liked to have seen him one more time. This is a letter that my dad wrote to us about a week or two after he had been arrested. It says, Pam, just remember that your mother and I love you more than anything. I know that we've said this before, but we all tend to just hear someone say, I love you, and not take the time to understand what you hear. I'm glad that 30 years later I have this, to know that even then he believed in me. And I think he's right when he says that he loved us more than anything on this earth. I think that's, through everything, that's something that I try to remember. When I went off to college, it dawned on me, it's not logical for a normal person to have all these charges against them if there's not something that connects it. To me, whether he was convicted or not, innocent people lost their lives. And almost every road leads back to him. My dad was killing people and stealing money from them to fund our life. And I know that I have no control over that, but makes you just feel awful. I just feel like I'm somehow responsible. And I know that I'm not ultimately, but it's hard to not feel shame and guilt and just feel like everything that he touched is ruined. How many lives he did ruin. I have such pain and compassion for his victims and their families. And I don't expect them to forgive my dad, but I hope that they don't carry that bitterness in their hearts. And I hope that they know that I feel for them, that if I could take it back or if I could change it, I